You produced a tape many years ago called Joyous Survival in roughly 1990, 1991. Can you give any kind of an update on that and perhaps provide a timeline of any of the dramatic earth changes that are happening and will take place?
Well, first we want to say that for the majority of you who are hearing us and participating with us, we would not factor earth changes or earth realignment into our decision process. But at the time that that recording was made and groups were gathering, it was what they all wanted to talk about. In other words, at the time that Jerry and Esther began this work, that was on the minds and tongues of almost everyone who was involved in any of the new thought movements. So it was our desire to put that into the context of deliberate creation. And it was a very good fit, because what it does is help you to realize that under all conditions you are the creator of your own experience. You came forth specifically in this time knowing that that it's the time of alignment, and we don't just mean alignment of your planet. Your planet is always in the process of alignment, but knowing that it was a time of awakening or reawakening. And so teachers came forth specifically wanting this time of greater energy. Now the energy is greater because your population is greater, and as your population is greater, more having experiences, and as more have more contrasting experiences, then more desire is exuding from them, and when it is asked, it is always given. So our friend began today by asking about 17 seconds, the manifestation point from when you hold a thought and you think it for 17 seconds, another thought joins it, and when you maintain that thought for another 17 seconds, another thought joins it. And so and this question was about, is this manifestation time shortening? And we say, it is indeed. This is a time of faster moving energy. So did you want something more specific?
In general, so judging from what you've said, mass human consciousness will be responsible for this entire creation, or these earth changes and the dramatic earth changes that are happening and will continue to happen.
All of you, as you came forth into these bodies, knew that you were participating on a planet that is a living, breathing, expanding being in and of itself. And you know, just like your own skin expands, if you were to stop expanding, you would wither and die, and your planet is the same way. So you did come forth understanding that it would be that timing, but it is not that changing your thoughts changes what's happening to the planet. Well-being abounds and always will.
But it is everyone's thoughts and emotions and feelings that are creating this reality.
If every human on the planet were to go to the same church or synagogue and think the same thought, still it would not be powerful enough to affect what's happening with your earth. In other words, the consciousness that has set you forth into motion and all of the thought that goes toward that which you are from non-physical perspective, it is all so much greater than that. You are the creator of your own individual human experiences. The overall experience is bigger than all of that, and it's bigger than the sum total of all of that.
There is a lot of other channeled material, and the Mayans and the Aztecs and various other prophets have pretty much put this time frame to be around 2012, 2013. And the sequence of events that lead up to that are...
What happens is, it is on the lips of so many who are divining it from the energy. In other words, if you read back in almost any text, you find that it's always about to happen. It's always about to happen. And it's because when people are translating these blocks of thought, it is not an easy thing to discern future from past. In other words, this has been an evolving planet. Much that has been written about this subject is not about what is about to happen. It's about what has happened in the forming of the planet. You get a sense of what we are talking about? Again, we say, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would be focused upon our alignment with Source, and we would not factor that in. But we watched Jerry and Esther gathered beans and rice and felt better for it. And in the same way and then the bugs ate the beans and rice, and they don't care. But in the same way that we're talking about choosing the thought that feels better, And as you choose the thought that feels better, you are more in alignment. Same thing goes with action. In other words, if you believe that your planet is in the process of realigning, and you believe that the food distribution will be disrupted, and you then take the action of storing some beans and rice and it makes you feel better, then your action has brought you into alignment. You get the sense of what we're talking about, and it is the alignment that matters. We saw many people who were deeply in debt that actually took solace in the idea that the banking systems were all going to come apart, and because they felt the relief of the banking system disintegrating, then their financial picture began to turn around. In other words, there are all kinds of benefits in this, but really, for the most part, it's just another excuse for humans to worry about something. And we liked to get in on the game of this because we are teachers of the art of allowing. And most people, even though they even when they come here and they talk about allowing, what they really are wanting to do is to control circumstances so that they can have a better feeling response to the circumstances. And this was finally a circumstance that was so big they didn't believe they could control it. So their only option was to find vibrational alignment with who they are. And those that did found joy and peace beyond description. Finally, you reach the place that you don't need to control the planet, and you don't need to control your government. You don't even need to control your children. You just find ways to think thoughts that allow your alignment with Source, and then you've got this steady sea legs shock absorber experience where you are finally free. The other option is to just keep diving deeper and deeper into a corner until you finally have yourself isolated from all of the things that you are afraid of. And when you finally say, there isn't anything for me to be afraid of, because fear itself is only because I've projected my thought towards something that doesn't allow my connection to who I really am, then finally you're free. It's the only freedom that exists in all of the universe. It's the freedom from resistance, and it is an inside job. So we will not tell you that your planet is free of earthquakes. There will be many. We will not tell you that volcanoes will not pour down the hills and destroy cities. They always have and they always will. But we will tell you that you have guidance within you, and you can always be at not only the right place at the right time, but the most joyous of places. When we talk about this feeling of relief, and you can feel relief that anger gives you over despair, and you can feel relief that frustration gives you over anger, we want to say to you that there is relief in every emotion, even these upper registries. There's even relief in the feeling of joy. In other words, your ability to connect with higher and higher frequencies of source energy never ceases, because source energy is continued to expand into those higher and higher frequencies, you see. So don't worry about this planet. This planet is in good hands. Well-being is the dominant order of business here. This planet will support generations farther than your numbers can statistically count. This is a land of well-being. And when you stop worrying about it not being a land of well-being, then you start individually experiencing well-being.